Good morning, my name is Christel from Frans, the Klerk Independent Technical Analyst. The first one on our list is Sygnia, and we can see that this share is currently on the weekly graph caught within a rising channel. And a rising channel is a negative formation once that lower band changes into a resistance, and that is waiting at 17 Rand 30. Take note how close that is to the 40-week moving average, waiting at 1772. Below those support levels, we can expect a downside. Only when the share starts to trade above 1850 again on a Friday close can we assume that the momentum to the top can continue again, and the big test will be at that upper band waiting at around 2030. And then the big question is, will it attract enough buyers to break through that resistance and take it to maybe the new or the recent record high from 2021 at around 20 Rand 99. My stochastic is in mid-zone, not an ideal place to take a position. However, both lines within my stochastic is still pointing upwards, showing that the overall trend on the stochastic is still in place. Keep in mind, as always, once that 40-week moving average changes into a resistance represented by that red line, the long-term sentiment towards the share changes to negative. Now, the target of the channel is the width of the channel projected downwards from where the formation will be confirmed, meaning this channel can take the share back to around 1448 should the full formation play out. But that is just a projection, doesn't mean it has to do it. It's possible that once it becomes oversold again, investors might feel that there's opportunity and start to protect the share. But let your candles or formations drive you in making that decision when to take profit or when to start to accumulate again. Second one on our list is PPC. At the moment, we can see that the share has changed its 40-week moving average into a resistance, waiting at 2.77 Rand, and that is seen as negative. Both lines within my stochastic is still pointing downwards. It's not oversold yet, which means the momentum to the bottom is clearly in place. But more importantly, I've got here a warning formation, and this warning formation will only be confirmed once that support line waiting at 2.32 Rand starts to change into a resistance. And a double top formation, which is what this warning formation is a formation that should not be ignored. And what makes it more scary is the fact that it's coming from a very, very low base. It's not even at a top or a high, and you can see that there was a double top formation that warned, that took the share a lot lower. We're sitting here with another double top formation that can take the share a lot lower. There was a double top formation that took the share a lot lower. So unless the share starts to consolidate above the top of that second loop, 3.22 Rand, only above that level can I say, listen, the warning formation around PPC is off the table, and we can assume that the share is going to reach for higher levels again. Below 2.77 Rand, the long-term sentiment is negative, and as I said, that big test is waiting at 2.32, where that neckline will confirm the warning of this double top formation that can take the share possibly a lot lower. Spur. Ticker on our exchange SUR, and very important, another double top formation. So the warning of the double top will be confirmed once that neckline waiting at 27 Rand and 1 cent starts to change into a resistance. The fact that this double top is appearing after a rally makes it even more dangerous, because now it means that there are investors that have started taking profit here. And if I go back to the history, we can see these high levels are very close to the highs that the share experienced in December 2019. And after those lower highs, and the changing of the 40-week moving average into a resistance, the share went back all the way to around 13 Rand 20. Only when Spur starts to consolidate above 28 Rand 50 again on a line graph can I assume that the momentum to the top can continue, and can I say that this warning formation from Spur is off the table and I can expect more upside. Very important, this was also a very steep rally to the top, which tells me that this was a lamp pole formation, and it becomes very dangerous when the incline to the top is so steep, because once the share runs out of momentum, the downside can be just as ugly, and even uglier than one can expect. Now my 40-week moving average is waiting at 24 Rand 71. Only below that the level will the long-term sentiment towards Spur change to negative. But let's have a look at the stochastic. It's not completely overbought yet. Stochastic is seen as overbought when it is above an 80. And overbought means that elastic band is stretched to a side. It means that the probability for the instrument to pull back is more likely, especially once a negative divergence takes place. Now, a negative divergence is when that blue line, the K line, the shorter moving average of the two, starts to break downwards through the orange line, the longer term moving average. And once that negative divergence is confirmed in overbought territory, it means the probability, the likelihood of the instrument to pull back for investors to take profit is more likely. So we're not even in completely overbought yet, and the instrument is already making lower highs on the stochastic. This is seen as very, very negative. And secondly, our K line has already changed that orange line into a resistance. That is also seen as very negative. So keep an eye on your Spur position. If you are in a profit, one should maybe consider taking it, unless you believe that the momentum to the top above that 28 Rand 50 level will continue again. Super Group. Ticker on our exchange SPG. Now Super Group at the moment is oversold. It's in oversold territory, one. But both lines within my stochastic is still pointing downwards, implying that the momentum to the bottom is clearly in place. This is, however, the time when one should start to look closer to the share. Why? Because you're waiting for that positive divergence. You're waiting for that blue line to break upwards through the orange line to confirm optimism on the stochastic. Now, Super Group has started to turn around, but there's two formations. One, there is this possible double top formation that will take the share a lot lower once that neckline changes into a resistance. But this can also be seen as a possible double bottom formation once that neckline changes into a support. So the warning formation of the double top will be once Super Group starts to trade below 29 Rand 22. That's when one should really start to be concerned about this double top. But if Super Group can attract enough buyers and start to consolidate above 32.71, we can assume that the momentum to the top can continue again. And that is waiting very close to my 40-week moving average, waiting at 32 Rand 49. So above those levels, one can take a sigh of relief and say, hey, it's probable that with a positive divergence and an oversold territory and the confirmation of a double bottom, we can possibly go back to that 35 Rand 23 target and even higher should the share be able to attract enough investors to break through that strong resistance there at around 35.28. So the big fight is around the 40-week moving average and then 32.71, that confirmation of that double bottom level. And the fact that it's oversold hopefully will attract some investors to make use of that elastic band that's got a lot of room for upside. Don't forget to send through your request for next week's show via Twitter or email. Have a fantastic week. Take care.